Well, guys made me do it, but I get to do the intro for week 10. So, hosted by Lee,
Hi, everybody.
myself, and our weirdest commentator this year, Brett.
Hi, diddly do, neighbors.
Special announcements this week. I would personally like to congratulate JP on his locking down of the first place regular season standings. With 8 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties, the second closest team cannot surpass him for the top spot. Way to go, JP. Hopefully that will carry over into playoff success.
Which leads us into the holdovers, the last great adventure of the people who have points to spend for skills. The First Alliance Grenadiers by Mountaineer for their Penetrator, the Blitzkrieg Jezebels by Tactics for the Scorpion, and Pacton's Pathfinders pick up Pain Resistance for the Gunslinger to prevent any kind of explodey gauze rifles.
Well, with how quickly the skill spends are done, we're going to see a little bit of a abridged show for you tonight. So let's have a look at our match summary from the prior week.
Game number 1, the Elk Riders versus the Wolf Pack. Hunting in the hills, the Wolf Pack stalk the road to victory 3-1. Go Buffalo. Way to go, kid.
Game number 2, the League of Robots versus the Black Wake. The Ghost Lakes Arena sees our first tie game of the week with a 2-2 final score.
Game number 3 sees the Laser Force going up against the 4th Torian Protectorate. The forward base comm center is where these two teams meet to cause mayhem. Laser Force hits with at least 6 or more tandem charged warheads, leading them to victory, hitting so many critical components in a 2-0 final score.
Game number 4, Yogi's Jaggers versus the Lyran Rangers. Drums beat in the mines, drums in the dark, leading to another tie game this week. This time a 1-1.
Game number 5, we have Odin's Chosen versus the Neon Grizzlies. Bopping along in the grasslands, the Grizzlies maul the Chosen, leaving behind a quartet of fallen mechs. 4-0, Neon Grizzlies win.
Game number 6, Ansgar's Outlaws versus the Blitzkrieg Jezebels. What week is this? The Rolling Hills see another tie between these two teams in a 1-1 final score.
Game number 7, Clan Cobra Chicken versus the Lights Out. The Lights go out due to weather conditions and are unable to make it to game day. Cobra Chickens score a win, even if it is just a bye win.
Oh yeah, you're going to make me read this one, eh?
Yeah.
Game number 8, we have the Ghost Legion. Boo! Against our heroes, the Dead Man's Hands. Yay! Devil's Bath. It was definitely a bloody battle. Turn 2, the Wolverine falls down. Turn 3, it stands up and walks itself off a level 6 cliff, which is actually a league rule. We do allow it. Regular rules say you can't walk off a cliff face. Turn 5 and 6, the same thing ends up happening to the Quick Draw. Turn 5, the Gunslinger headcaps the Marauder 2 like a chump. 4-2 final score after a actually pretty closely fought battle.
Did you have anything else to say on game number 8 there, Lee?
No, please, throw your 2 cents in.
Well, I mean, I was doing my very best to let you have a win. Who else would walk off of a level 6 cliff voluntarily more than once? And you still couldn't beat me.
Somebody trying to avoid getting shellacked by not being able to get anywhere because you jumped on a little tiny hill with nowhere to go.
I mean, really, it works out to the fact that my pilots can't make a 6-up to stay standing. So, goes to show it again, me and piloting skill rolls just aren't friendly. But I'm glad it was a super friendly match and we both had a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I really enjoyed the game against you. Looking forward to hopefully seeing you in the playoffs.
Yeah, probably the finals.
Ooh, that would be a good one.
Game number 9, Steel Shod Shambles versus the First Alliance Grenadiers. Another game unfortunately unable to be fought, the First Alliance take a bye-win victory.
Game number 10, Hank's Handies versus Wendigo's Night Stalkers. These two teams meet in the Unending Hills, where they fight, and the Handies have another happy ending. But that's the only ending they get to enjoy, as the Night Stalkers walk out with a 4-2 victory today. So sad, too bad, Hank.
Game number 11. House Psychotic Weasel up against the Neutro Reavers. Arena 8, the Wooded Hills, has this slaughterfest. What happens when you reach the end of space and stare into it? A Reavers 4-0 victory.
Game number 12, the Ice Creamers versus the Red Suns Regulars. Ice cream melts on your hands and the ground, but this game doesn't get played and ends in a 2-0 Red Suns bye-win.
Game number 13, Rishton's Rogues versus the Scions of Amaris. Epic level shenanigans in the grasslands, as two A-side champions play it all out. 4-3 final score, no surprise there. This time, the Rogues take it home.
Game number 14, we have Ward's Warwolves up against the Paxton Pathfinders. Arena 14, the Desert Oasis, starts off pretty evenly, with the Pathfinder falling, but the Warwolves Marauder dropping just shortly after it. Looks like it's going to be a 1-1 tie. However, from there it goes quickly downhill, and ends up in a Warwolves 4-1 victory.
Game number 15, Warthog's Revenge against the Collection Agency. The Kozais Valley has a good old-fashioned throwdown this week, and the agency collects hard with a 4-1 win.
Game number 16, Thumper's Revenge face off against Cat's Nightingale Cavalry in the River Delta. Nobody wants to get their toes wet, and that clearly impacts the match. Challenging line-of-sight situations lead this to a final 0-0 tie game this week.
It was close though. You crippled one of his mechs and put his elementals basically running away scared. He just had your catapult completely stripped down. No left torso, no right torso, open center torso, and 2 ER medium lasers left for weapons, and then you still made the PSRs to stay standing, because didn't you have 2 of them you had to make?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it ended up being a really, really well-fought battle, just no kills.
Something to say when you're playing up against a clan player.
Kind of an anticlimactic week. 4 ties, 3 bye-wins.
Wah, wah, wah.
No ties come playoffs. So we'll see how those come down to.
Yeah, only one more week where anybody can score a tie. All right, Heather, let's hear what you have to say when you interview the Black Wake stablemaster, Devon. Have at her.
Welcome back to another Battle Babe interview and our final interview of the regular season for Calgary Battletech. I have Devon here. How are you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good.
That's good. That's good. Have you gotten all your stuff ready for the upcoming holiday season, or still kind of?
Absolutely not. I'm a last-minute crammer. We're getting there. Actually, I'm more prepared than I usually am, but still more to go.
I have to say, same thing. I'm normally last minute cramming, like shopping the 23rd, 24th. This year, really, I think we're pretty much done. Everything else is like gift cards, and like from your grandmother, we're gonna do some of those like world fun things where you buy like chickens for a village or something. So I even have the turkey already.
Nice.
Yeah. So do you guys stay here in Calgary, or do you guys go away for the holidays?
Well, actually, I'm from Red Deer. As far as plans for the holidays, no, I don't think we're going anywhere fancy. We have family around central Alberta, so out east in Coronation, and family in Innisfail, so we won't be traveling too far.
That's always nice. I do like going away for the holidays sometimes, but it's always nice to be able to stick around home and pack everything up and do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how was your last game?
My last game was pretty good. I had to play a rescheduled game against Jared. I was working on the last league day, so Lee stayed late on a Saturday evening and supervised our game, and it was a really good game. It's my first time really chatting or playing against Jared, so I got to meet him. It was a tie game, so it was a very, very even play. I like tie games. I like close games. You know, when it's a total rout and one guy, it's 4-0 games and things like that. You know that one guy's walking away from that table a little bit frustrated. So
yeah,
I really like the close matches, and there's nothing closer than a tie. It came right down to the very last couple turns. I had really, really good luck at the start of the game, just landing all my shots. Jared was having some bad luck. He was missing on a lot of 8s and 7s. And so it really, really looked like I was starting strong. His Wraith. Wraith. So his medium mech got knocked unconscious. He failed his first conscious roll, rolled snake eyes on a 3 consciousness check. And so he went unconscious right in the middle of my 4-max, and I thought, okay, well, here's my first kill. Cool. We're going to go for it. And I got that kill really fast, but then he was jumping his Blackhawk coup all around and just really, really punishing my my thug. And eventually he got the thug, and I finally got the Blackhawk coup down. It took forever to finally pour it out. I was just like, he had 3 pips left in the center torso, and I was like, just come on, just 3 more and then we're done. And I just couldn't land a center torso, couldn't land a crit to save my life, so I spent way too long killing the coup. And then his final kill was my Phoenix Hawk. Yeah, he legged my Phoenix Hawk and then sealed the deal on the Phoenix Hawk. So the Thug did its job. It lasted a really good long time. He had to pour a bunch of fire into it to take it out, but ultimately it was 2-2. And I don't know where it would have gone if we kept playing, because he had a pretty beaten up and bruised couple of assault mechs left, and I had a pretty beaten up Crockett. So it was still anybody's game when we called time. It was pretty fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I love to hear those games, especially the ones that are really close, like you were saying, because it could go anyway when they're that close. I know what it's like when you're like, oh, I should be able to hit on a 7, or I should be able to hit on 5s, and you can't.
Yeah.
It's like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
It's like, I just want to throw these dice across the frickin' table.
Yep.
That's awesome. And did you guys have any funny, like extra funny incidences or any ridiculous moves?
Certainly, like the shutdown on or not the shutdown, the unconscious pilot on a 3 was a real surprise. And I whooped for that one, because that was luck really, really favoring me. I think that when he legged my Phoenix Hawk, that was a 12 on a crit roll on the leg. And I think that the leg just blew straight off, like there was nothing left. It was done. So that Phoenix Hawk was on the ground at that point. And so that was a pretty good return fire shot for him. Aside from that, the Blackhawk coup and the Thug, that was a real slugfest. That was just back and forth, just ripping armor off, stripping the mechs right down to nothing. So that was a real hard fought one. No big eureka moments there.
Oh yeah, darn.
So I landed some really long shots on his Highlander right at the start of the game. Turn 1, turn 2, where most people are just missing.
Yeah.
And I just like cleaned up on the Highlander, just poured damage into it, knocked it down on the first, like the second or third turn, and that felt really good. But ultimately he retreated the Highlander, kind of regrouped, and I could never really get past that. But that was pretty cool too. It was a really, really strong opening for me. I had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, it's when you can get those shots in there, you're rolling on 11s and 12s, and it's like, there's no way I'm gonna hit all these, and you do, and you're like, sweet, that worked.
Yeah.
Nice. Looking back at your experience with Battletech, like this is your 2nd season with League?
Yep.
Yeah? Okay, and what brought you to League, or how did you get in with Battletech to start with?
So I spent a bunch of money on mechs, and then I realized I need someone to play this game with. So I never really played Battletech like as a young kid. I think I bought some books when I was a teenager. Never played the game, never learned how to play the game. I think I had the RPG books. I just liked flipping through it and looking at stuff, but I never learned. And then when they started remaking all the mechs and, you know, redesigning them and coming out in plastic and doing all the Kickstarters, that's when I really kind of tuned back in. I said, oh, this thing's still alive, you know, I was into this 20 years ago. And so I looked at the Kickstarters and looked at the mechs, and they were super cool, so I bought 1,000 of them. And then they just sat in my basement in the cardboard box they were shipped in for like a year and a half. Like I had a whole big box of the Clan Invasion stuff, and finally took it out of the box and started painting it and thought, wow, this is pretty cool. I should figure out who to play this with and how to play this. My first actual game, I went to the GameCon when it was in Calgary, and I started reaching out on social media and saying, okay, well, who's local, who plays this? I think I hooked up with Bruce on social media, who let me know that Calgary had a league. And so I went to the GameCon, played like the first demo games there, and really just started kind of figuring out how to play the game. And then League Grinder was probably the second or third time I'd ever sat down at the table. I've learned through League. So I came in very, very fresh, knew absolutely nothing about the game. And I still know very little about the game, but I know a little more than when I first started. I'm still learning things all the time. But it's been really good. You guys have a ton of players in the league that have been playing for decades, and there's always something to learn, either strategy-wise or rules-wise, that, you know, I can clean up my game a little bit and learn a little bit more. So it's really great, actually. The league has been my training, and it's been nice to learn and share. I'm trying to teach guys up here in Red Deer too how to play. Yeah, trying to pay it forward. Yeah, it's been really fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know, like, we have a bunch of guys that have, like, either this year or last year were their first seasons, and it's nice to hear when people have come in, whether they're new or just getting into the game, and just the fact that they're not, oh, well, the Calgary Battletech members or Calgary Battletech players are really sticklers or really nose up in the air kind of thing. Like, I love the fact that our community, and not just the guys in League, but our community, like you said, Bruce and stuff, are just so welcoming, and it's just really cool that we have this community. And I'm glad that we have the League back, because last League I played in was when we were pregnant with our 11-year-old 12 years ago. And yeah, like I had nothing. I didn't know anything about Battletech till I started playing. So I started dating Lee 16 years ago, and I was like, this game looks absolutely stupid. And well, now, hey, I don't just play it, I compete in it too. And it's being able to go to League and have people that you can learn from, and always nice.
Yeah, absolutely. The community's been great. Everybody that I've met, I've really enjoyed playing against and talking to and learning from. So it's been a really positive experience. Couldn't have expected more.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love to hear that. So you kind of had a little bit of background with Battletech, but not the playing. And so what other kinds of things do you like to do, or kind of board games or tabletop gaming do you like to do?
Yeah, so I'm kind of all over the map. I'm a video gamer, PC gaming. I kind of gave up the console thing, but yeah, I'm on Steam all the time playing various things. I've invested hours and hundreds of hours into the MechWarrior and Battletech games. I do love the whole world and all that. I've also kind of dove into like the Battletech novels right now. I think I'm 7 or 8 novels in. I went all the way back to the 80s and started from the beginning. So I'm doing that. I'm big into board games too. I have a tabletop gaming group that I do tabletop, like just random board games every other week.
Cool.
So we do that. Gaming with my girlfriend. Sometimes she's a big Diablo 4 player, so sometimes I play with her. Various other little couch games at home. That's fun.
Exactly. So looking forward, this is going to be an interesting conversation. So your next game and your last game of the season is again me.
Right on.
So is there anything that you're like looking at, have you looked at my lance, or I haven't even looked at your lance, so.
I usually cram the night before. It's usually as I'm going to bed, I'm like, okay, let's look at the scouting reports. What the heck am I going up against tomorrow? So actually, I think I did look you up, because you have quads, don't you? You've got.
I do.
Yeah. So you're the second person this season. My very first game against Chris M, he had a Scorpion. I think he traded it out.
Right.
Yeah, and you put turrets on stuff, I heard.
Yes, I have turrets on both my quads. Quads are amazing, especially if you get turrets on them. Like, don't get me wrong, the turret block gets hit and it's stuck in one direction. But knock on wood, it hasn't happened yet. But I get a lot of flack from people. Oh, you're playing quads. Quads aren't blah blah. I'm like, why?
Well, so I'm really interested to see how it goes, because when it was week 1 that I played Chris, and he did not have a turret on anything, he was just kind of learning that and like the having to actually like rotate your mech in order to shoot forward, all that stuff. I got off light with that Scorpion. His Scorpion was just frequently not facing the right direction to do stuff, so I got off easy that time. Now I'm gonna see you with yours, and they're gonna have this omnidirectional thing going on, and there's no maneuvering behind him to avoid fire, so that's going to be an interesting experience.
And I learned that last year from having my quads last year, and I played a game against Laura. It wasn't a game that meant anything. We just played for fun because we'd never played each other, and she got behind me, and I'm like, oh, damn it. I had to like bend movement points to get up from my hull down and turn so that I could shoot her, because you can only use your front forwarding arc, and it's like, well, god damn it, this sucks. So I was like, I need turrets this year. I'm not gonna not play with my quads, but I need turrets this year.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, I'm probably not going to do any like scheming and research and really deep planning. I know some guys like to look at their opponent and like come up with like a whole strategy sheet and kind of a guide for like how they're going to play it. Usually that's all just done in my brain, the night before when I can't get to sleep. I'm like, okay, let's think about it. This might happen. I might do this. And then usually I just go in with like a very loose plan, like maybe the first mech that I think, the scariest mech, the one that I think I need to get out of the way or something like that. I couldn't tell you which one of yours I'm scared of the most just yet, but definitely the two quads, and I think at least one or both jump. Do they both jump?
No, only my Scorpion jumps. My bar test is a 5'8". So he, unless it's wide open, he can't move very far, very fast. But he does have, I think it's danger zone, and so you can't stop unless you're a heavier mech.
Right.
You can't stop in a space right beside him, which is kind of cool. I can stop beside you if I want to, like kick or something, but you can't stop right beside me, which is nice. So if I'm hauled down or something, you can't get right beside me, which it's kind of nice.
That Barghest, I forgot that was your other quad. That's actually one of my friends, his absolute favorite mech. He just thinks it's the coolest thing on 4 legs, and I'm very interested to see how that goes. I'm going to tell him exactly how the Barghest plays, because he doesn't play a lot of Battletech. He just like looks at the pictures and he's like, this is the best mech. You need to know this is the best mech out there. So I'm very interested in seeing how you play it, and I'm going to be relaying that to a friend who's very, very keenly interested. Is yours improved heavy Gauss? Is it just a regular Gauss?
No, it's not an improved, and I say Imperial because for some reason last year I said Imperial, so that's why it sticks. Yeah. No, it's just a regular heavy Gauss on my, and he's just 5'8". He doesn't jump. Last year, not on my Barcast, on my Goliath. I don't know, my big quad, I put jumping on it, and I got a lot of looks because like that mech should not be able to jump, like with its size and stuff. But this one, I thought it doesn't very often get right into the thick of things. So I'm like, I don't need to jump with this one. But all my other three mechs definitely jump, which is nice.
I'm gonna say I'm very afraid of heavy Gauss. Cal last year with his Fafnir really punished me with the Fafnir. When I played Andre this year, the Fafnir was target number 1, public enemy number 1, because I was scared of his heavy Gauss. So your Barghest is gonna have to look out, because he's probably gonna be attracting a lot of attention right out the gate with me. That's a little spoiler, I guess, for probably how I think I might play it.
He might, but he doesn't even have a heavy Gauss. He just has a Gauss.
Oh, just a regular. Okay, well,
just a regular
15 points of damage can still kill a mech in one shot.
It's exactly. It's literally my only mech that has a head capper.
Yeah.
No, I don't lie, because an ERPBC is not 15, it's 10. So it is, that's the only one that's my head capper, and I wish I had more head cappers, and I don't even think I have head capped anybody this year. whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got any lucky Gauss head hits either. I've been waiting to see it. I've got head capped. My thug saw that when I played Brett. But I took the Gauss rifle just so that maybe I could get one of those lucky shots. Hasn't happened yet, but there's still 4 games left to play.
Yeah, like we still have this coming weekend, and then you'll have at least 1 game in playoff.
Well, I'm going right to the end for sure. I got 4.
There you go. All right, there you go. Well, when you could still have, because you can come in and play every week anyways, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm never not going to. It's if I can, I'm gonna come in and play, even if I'm not actually playing it, like for trophies.
Yeah, I'm hoping the weather's good through January and February. This is when the roads get kind of creepy, and I'm like, oh no, do I get up and brave the roads to come into Calgary and play? I think I missed a couple of weeks at the end of the last season after I got knocked out of the playoffs. I think that was it, just because the roads were so treacherous after I got knocked out. So keeping my fingers crossed for good weather through the remaining few games here.
Well, and Highway 2 can be pretty brutal, right? Like just the way the wind blows. We come in on Highway 1 and it's not too bad. It's very rare. Like we've been out here 16 years and I think the highway's been closed twice. So not bad compared to people coming in on Highway 2.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for popping on and chatting with me tonight, Devon.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a good chat.
Yeah.
Looking forward to next Sunday when we'll get to play.
Yes, and I have no idea how my brain's going because I'm going up to Edmonton on Thursday for my best friend's Christmas party on Friday. So we'll see how coherent my brain is on that Sunday morning.
Right on. Well, I look forward to it.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Devon, and we will see you in a few days.
Right on. See you then. Bye.
Talk to you later. Bye.
Well, thanks, Heather. That was a great interview, as always. I know Devon's your next opponent, so that was kind of cool being able to talk to the person that you're going to be playing against in less than a week. This will lead us into Week 10's matches. Nice try, Brett. You didn't catch me that time.
This one was pretty obvious. If you didn't catch it, we would have told you you have to leave it in.
Yeah. So, game number 1, we have Cat's Cavalry with 4 wins, 4 losses, 1 tie, up against the clan Cobra Chickens, who have gotten their first win. It is a bye.
Hooray!
But have 7... Yeah, way to go! But has had 7 losses and 1 tie. I know John absolutely detests elementals, so he's going to be going after them with a pretty mad passion. He likes elementals in general, the concept of elementals. He just likes to go heavy at them when they are in league play. On that note, he also seems to want to go after the Blood Asp. I don't know if he's trying to protect my meager lead in the killer's corner, but I don't mind. Go get him. Get him, my buddy. Go get him. So that will be a... I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 victory for Cat's Cavalry, but the Cobra Chickens are going to get those two goals.
All right, I'm going to give this one to Cat's Cavalry. I think they've got a pretty good feel for their lance. They are going to go, and Clan Cobra Chickens going to hyper focus on the elementals, which is going to leave them a little exposed. I think it's going to be probably a 4-1 Cavalry overall victory.
I definitely agree. It's going to be a Cat's Cavalry win. I think they're going to roast some chickens. I think it's going to be 4-0.
Game number 2, the 4th Taurian Protectorate with 1 win, 6 losses, and 2 ties, up against the Odin's Chosen with 2 wins, 1 of which is a bye, 7 losses, and 0 ties. Oh, this could be actually a fairly entertaining game to see and watch and see how it plays out. I'm going to go with the 4th Taurian Protectorate because they're just sort of a favorite. I think they're going to have a good game. I think it's going to be probably a 3-2 final score, though.
A Hamilton. Who needs to be up in the upper strata? What are you doing down here? And the worst part about this is I actually think Odin's Chosen has a really good chance of winning this game. but I can't go against my boys, the Hamiltons. I'm going to say it's going to be 4th Taurian Protectorate, and it's going to be a 4-1.
I don't think Odin's Chosen's going to lose that badly. I do think it'll be the Hamilton. I think it's 4th Taurian Protectorate. I think it's either going to be a 4-2 or a 4-3. 50-50 coin toss. I think it'll be a 4-3. I think it'll be that close.
It'll be nice to see another Slaughterfest like that. Those are always really enjoyable games either way.
Yeah, both players ends up talking about that for quite a while.
Yeah.
If you know this, if in turn for that, yep, that's always how those stories go.
Game number 3. We have the Wolfpack with 2 wins, 6 losses, and 1 tie, going up against Lights Out with 2 wins, 7 losses, and 0 ties.
3-3 tie game.
No.
No.
No, I don't think Alex is going to roll over and play dead.
I mean, he rolled over and played win last game.
Yeah, and I hope he does the same thing this week. I think the Wolfpack's going to win. I think it'll be 3-2. I don't think he's going to get all 4.
I am pretty excited about Paul's comeback after a week off. He seems to be a little bit better focused when he's had a bit of a break. And Alex, while he did win last week, he has not been having the best season. I think his lance is not where he wants it to be, and sporting 2 medium mechs does make it more difficult.
It is an extra challenge level.
Yeah, though Paul has 2 mediums as well. He's, I think, the only other team with 2 mediums, but they're all linked to a C3I system. I'm going to say Lights Out wins it. I think he's going to pop those mediums really badly with those autocannon 20s. He has an entire goal, and he finally told me one of the parts of the plan is he wants to drop 2 mechs in the same turn with determination. He wants to just go pop, pop, autocannon 20, what is it, streak 4, or whatever the heck the secondary weapons are on that thing. I think the LB-20Xs are really the only important weapons, but he just wants to pop 2 mechs in the same turn. The best chance he has is against 2 mediums. So I am going to say Lights Out takes it, and he's going to take it 3-2. I'm going to agree with Laura on the score, just not the winner.
Well, I joked in the opening, but I think it's actually going to be a 2-2 tie. I think Alex is going to come out in early, and then Paul is going to play catch-up, and I think time will expire with the 2-2 tie.
Game number 4, we have the Elk Riders with 1 bye win, 6 losses, and a tie, up against Laser Force, 5 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. This is about the most lopsided regular standings that I've seen in a long time. We have one player who won by a bye, so he hasn't actually even been able to wet his fingers in the win column, against a player with 5 wins, which puts him very significantly as a challenger for A-side playoffs. Elk Riders, I'm not even going to beat around the bush. Laser Force should beat you, and they're going to beat you pretty handily. It's going to be a 4-2.
Yeah, this is probably going to be a beating in the back of the schoolyard. Elk Riders, despite having the history that they do, have been really enjoyable to have around. They've been coming out, they've been smiling, they've been having a good time as far as I can tell. So no matter how the game's going to roll out for them, I think they're going to enjoy it. And they're just sort of here to play Battletech. So I don't think they'll be too disappointed if it ends up being a 4-1 final score for the Laser Force.
Laser Force is going to unfortunately walk all over the Elk Riders. I'm going to agree with Lee. I think it'll be a 4-2.
Game number 5. We have the Blitzkrieg Jezebels with 4 wins, 1 of which is a bye, 2 losses, and 3 ties. Oh, somebody else is creeping up in the tie game slot. Versus the Black Wake. 2 wins, 5 losses, and 2 ties. I do not think these teams will tie. I think this will end up being a 3-2 victory. And it's going to be a tough call, but I'm voting for the Black Wake this time. I think their C3I is just going to manage to pull it in for them.
This is probably the closest in skill level that Heather's going to be facing all season. She's played Clanners, she's played C3, she's played guys with really big cannons with the heavy gauze rifles. She's faced everything, and for the most part, come out on top. She's got a winning record, as well as a bunch of ties. The Black Wake has a great team. Devon's pretty new to the game, but he's done well. 2 wins and 2 ties is not bad, and and all 4 games were earned. I'm going to say the Blitzkrieg Jezebels are going to win because she's got more game experience. She's played longer. She has her game plan. To be honest, the game plan she doesn't even have to really think about it. She just does it. And win or lose, it's been working for her. You don't have to get a lot of kills to win. You just got to get more than your opponent. So it's going to be a 3-1.
I could see this game ending up as being a tie.
It absolutely could.
They'll just run out of time and not be able to hit things. It depends on the dice. I think Heather has a little bit more drive to win. It's going to depend on... I think it's going to come down to her dice, in all honesty. Blitzkrieg Jezebel's going to win. I'm going to agree with Brett's score, though. It'll be a 3-2. Game number 6. We have Ansgar's Outlaws with 4 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties, going up against Yogi's Jaegers with 3 wins, 2 losses, and 4 ties.
Plan on clan violence.
Hooray!
Last man standing. Literally, the elementals. I actually want Yogi's Jaegers to win this game. Those little teddy bears better pull something out of their butt.
Like a picnic basket?
Like a picnic basket. I think it'll be 3-1. Yogi's Jaegers 3-1.
I want to agree with you because Will's super awesome and Corey is just lucky. I mean, he's a good player, but he's also lucky and he really leans into that luck sometimes. But I do think this is going to be an Ansgar's Outlaws 3-1 victory.
Comparison of the 2 mechs, just in their assault classes. Ansgar's Outlaws has the Jupiter, and Yogi's Jaegers have a Daishi. And the Daishi has like 3 large pulse lasers and a gauze rifle. Ansgar's Outlaws has a couple of ERP PCs, a bunch of LB5Xs, and some missiles. I think the Daishi is probably the toughest mech out of all 8 units on the battlefield. I'm going to go Yogi's Jaegers as well. Pace of play, Corey's quick, which means that Will's game will get more rounds in. So it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game. I think it's going to be a 4-2.
I kind of thought that Jupiter was a bit of a joke until I had to fight it. It is a lot more consistent than people give it credit for.
Oh, I completely agree that it's a solid mech. I just think that Daishi is more accurate. It's gonna have a more immediate effect on the battlefield. Game number 7, we have the Neon Grizzlies with 6 wins, one of which is a bye win, 2 losses and a tie. They're up against the Lyran Rangers. 1 win, 6 losses, and 2 ties. Another game where both teams are on the opposite ends of the spectrum. Lyran Rangers is a good player. Carlos is fun to play against, and he is wonderfully enjoyable just to sit there and play. Lots of questions, lots of good chatter, but that doesn't win you games. And I think the second Hamilton is on a... I think he might actually end up being B-side or A-side finalist with JP. So I'm going to say Neon Grizzlies are going to win this. It's going to be, just range outdoes the heavy gauze rifles. I think he's going to win it, and it's going to be a 4-2.
Subtle shots. All right. I think Scott's just got a really good season under his belt with the Neon Grizzlies coming in. I do suspect they're going to slip in another win. It's probably going to be 4-1 for them. It might be 4-2, but it's probably going to be 4-1. If I end up getting dropped out of playoffs and the Lyran Rangers get dropped out of playoffs, I'm definitely going to arrange myself a game with him during the playoff season. Because I think Carlo would be awesome, and I haven't had a chance to sit down at a table with him.
He is. I've quite enjoyed playing against him the time that I've got. I think I've played him twice, and I've enjoyed both of the times we've played.
The Neon Grizzlies. Who don't take a grizzle? Faux shizzle. I agree with both of you. I think it is going to be a Neon Grizzlies win. I hate to agree with Lee again, but I think it's going to be a 4-2.
Should always agree with me.
No. You have
You do
been
not
wrong
have the
from
best
time
track
to time.
record for voting.
Excuse me?
Uh,
Shall we break out the stats for the past 4 games?
No.
We could if it's ready.
No. We'll go over the stats after game 10. Halfway and before playoffs. That's it. That's all.
And after playoffs.
I'm money, folks. I'm money. Just hear it now. I'm money.
Yeah, about 350. Game number 8. Thumper's Revenge. With, unfortunately, no wins, 4 losses, but a monstrously successful 5 non-losses in the tie column, coming up against the League of Robots, with 4 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties. I think this game is going to go one of 2 ways. I think this is going to be yet another tie, where Thumper's Revenge successfully prevents her opponents from winning, or the League of Robots are going to slip it in and they're going to manage to get a 3-1 victory. But I'm going to vote for a second tie this time, and it's going to be a 2-2.
The standings here do not read at all like the 2 teams' skill level. This is really unbalanced as far as the standings are. Third game in here where we're looking at a player that's in B versus a player that's sitting in D and opposite tips. But 5 ties is huge. I remember in second season arguing with Brett and OG repeatedly about my good number of ties, that they're victories. You played your opponent to a standstill.
You have prevented a loss. You have successfully prevented a loss.
And it's not full points. It's not what you're looking for. You're looking for that win. But you also didn't allow teams that even you yourself thought were better than you. You didn't allow them to beat you. And you didn't hide. You fought. League of Robots has turned their season around to the point where it looks like they might actually be pretty successful. But Jared's still not playing the game he really wants to be playing. You play your game, and I think you're going to be able to beat him, Laura. But it's going to be close. A 2-2 tie is actually going to be pretty tight here. I'm going to say a 2-1 victory for Thumper's Revenge. Because I think he has to walk into your fire. I think he's going to have to come deal with you, and you're going to beat him because of it.
It's going to be a tough match.
One of the biggest things, he can't outrange you. He's got to come in.
Yeah.
Right? LB5Xs, autocannon 10s, they don't outrange you. Right? He's got to get in close enough that you can get your guns shooting, and then you have the range advantage.
I'm just happy it's not a C3I or a clan.
Yeah, you
That's
saw enough
the other
of
thing.
those.
My record. I'm like, it's an actual normal lance.
That's something else that doesn't show in your black and white on paper record. You have played a significant number of clan and C3 players this year.
Well, I can't vote for against myself because it's self-serving. I want more than 2 kills. If I don't tie it, I think it'll be I'd hope for a 3-2. And that's what my final score is going to be, 3-2. But honestly, I can see Jared and I having a 3-3 tie.
That's
Just
aggressive.
chase each other around and just can't
aggressive.
finish it off.
Yeah.
Because Jared can't finish anyway. Game number 9. the Collection Agency with 4 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties, going up against Hank's Handies, 6 wins, 3 losses, and 0 ties. I want Hank's Handies to win.
It's been like 2 weeks and I still haven't heard the end of Hank's Handies with me calling against for the other guy.
Right? I have high hopes. Hank's Handies. I think it'll be 3-2.
Just got high hopes. I think actually, while we give praise to Cal for being like a little calculator and just picking up the game so well and doing so awesome, Hank's Handies tends to have some bad luck, but if he ends up having even just moderately successful luck, I think we'll be able to pull home the win. I do not think it'll be a 3-2. I think it'll be a 4-2 though.
This has so many factors that are going to play into who wins this. Hank's Handies is a bit of a slower version of your Lance, Brett. So he didn't go heavy into the 5.85. He just brought some armor and like a Banshee and stuff like that. So, and then a Gunslinger just like you have, and then a Wolverine. Like it's very similar Lances. So he's going to do a really good job of eliminating the range benefit of C3I by being able. He's going to be in your face anyway. He wants to be within kicking distance. Collection Agency has been doing a great job of tagging people with haywire pods and other crap like that just to make their life miserable.
Oh, he gets so lucky with those haywire pods.
He's very good with them. The biggest problem is going to be the map. If there's not a really good line of sight situation, Hank's Handies is going to absolutely curb stomp the Collection Agency. He's going to do what you do and just climb in on one mech and just lay boots to it till it's down. If it's a more wide open map or someplace that Cal can get line of sight, an oversight of the map, Collection Agency stands a very good chance of winning and toppling one of the better teams in the league, if he does. I am actually going to call this for... I'm going to say the Collection Agency. Sorry, Darren, I actually think you have a very, very good shot of A-side upper playoffs, but I think Cal might be able to beat you in this one if he gets the right map. And it's going to be a high-scoring game because you're not going to give him a choice. It's going to be a 4-2. Game number 10. We have the Wendigos Night Stalkers. 5 wins, 3 losses, 1 tie. Up against the Scions of Amaris. 6 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. These two guys are great friends. And I know Jeff helps Jay every year with his mech choices and his decisions that he makes.
That's a false statement.
Why?
The first 2 seasons that Jay played, Jeff helped him. The last season, Jay has been doing everything all on his own, including sending the emails in and everything.
Ooh.
They chit-chat, but this has been all Jay all day long this season.
Oh, I'm not saying that Jeff makes his decisions for him. I'm saying there's a lot of conversing between the two of them, and you have an experienced player like Jeff giving weighted advice. So it's false in the sense that if people are thinking I'm saying that Jeff's making the decisions for Jay, but I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying there's a lot of influence from Jeff into Jay's team.
And Timmy's riding a Xanathos this year.
Yeah, you know what? That Xanathos was a very tough mech, very hard to beat.
Way better than the Berserker he started with in earlier season.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, unless you're playing in an actual arena, not on a double map, melee-wielding mechs have a struggle. Like, my Hatchet Man has a struggle ever getting its hatchet in use.
The quad is doing the job, though.
Yeah,
it's going 3-5, but he's getting it successfully in there to doing multiple
3-5-3 it jumps.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, and then as much as he kind of on the Crazy Horse, it's been paying dividends. He kicked the snot out of me. He turned around and like just kicked dust at me doing the mule kicks, doing 30 points of damage to my legs. Like, it's not funny. He hits hard.
Yeah, and I know he landed multiple kicks against Hank's Handies in their game too.
Yep, I think Scions of Mars has a really big struggle ahead of them, and they could end up with another loss. Like, this could be back-to-back losses for Jeff. But in the end, I think his A-side champion skill level is going to come out, and he's going to be playing some dirty tricks on Jay that Jay didn't expect. It's going to be Scions of Amaris, and it's going to be, and it hurts me to say this because it hurts my chances in the standings. It's going to be a 4-1 because Jeff just doesn't seem to lose mechs.
You know, this is partially self-serving, but I'm actually hoping this is a Wendigos Night Stalkers 4-1 victory. And I would like nothing more than to have the stats align where I face Jeff in round 1 of playoffs. I think that would be awesome. He would absolutely hate it, but I think that would be awesome.
I think Jeff is going to win. I think it's going to be a Scions win. Oh, but what's going to be the score? I think Jay's going to get more kills than just one, but not super lots. I think it's going to be a Scions win. It'll be a 4-2.
Moving on to game number 11, Ward's Warwolves with 4 wins, 5 losses, and 0 ties. Up against myself with 7 wins, 1 of which is a bye, 2 losses, and 0 ties. Who wrote this? How did I end up talking about my own match? Lee, what did you do?
I didn't type those up. You did it at the last second.
Well, that's probably all what it is then. I think despite the fact that Ward's Warwolves has a pretty impressive record, they've got a solid, impressive Direwolf. I have a feeling that my combination of C3 and my bully tactics is going to allow me to come in and slip in a win. I think it's probably going to be a 4-2 because that's pretty standard for me. If I get a win, I'm going to lose 2. It might be a 4-3, but I'm hoping that the Wolverine's standing at the end of the day.
I think this is probably either going to be a 4-1 for the Ward's Warwolves, or it's going to be the closest game you've played all season. Because his Daishi is double the firepower of your other two, of your Gunslinger.
Oh, his Daishi is almost the firepower of 3 of my mechs.
Yeah. So if he gets in the right position where he can actually shoot at you, you're in trouble.
He has lots of large pulses.
Mm-hmm. But that doesn't win games necessarily. You still got to hit, and you got to hit the right places, right? You arm and leg enemies, and it's going to take forever to kill them.
I have 5 expendable arms in my lance this year.
Yep. Yeah, to be honest, I'm not sure how this is going to go, because it could just be a quick head cap and somebody is in a lead. Though the word Warwolves Daishi does have combat wisdom. I'm going to say this is going to be a 4-3 for the Ghost Legion. And it's going to be that, it's going to be your last mech's going to have just dropped his mech, and you're just praying to God you don't fall down and blow out a torso.
If I fall over, I core myself. Core myself.
It's going to be that close. And it's like, if he uses his elementals correctly, you're going to have a hard time with them. Right? But he's got to play him smart. Right? Like he can't leave him at the back of the battlefield unless he's just going to protect his Daishi, which isn't a horrible tactic. Or he needs to get in there and make sure that they're actually doing something.
He's invested a lot of points into them, so...
Yeah. Let them get killed, but make them do something useful. He knows where you're going. Within a couple of turns, he's going to know exactly where you're headed.
I have to agree with you guys. Again. I think the Ghost Legion is going to win. I think I'm going to actually agree with Brett. I think it'll be a 4-2. Game number 12. Neutral Reavers with 8 wins, 1 loss, and 0 ties. Going up against Riston's Rogues with 5 wins, 1 loss, and 3 ties. Well, I'm pretty sure I know how the game's going to play out. But I'm kind of hoping Riston... Bloody. Yes. No, I think Riston's Rogues... I want them to win. I know he doesn't want to. And I'm pretty sure JP is going to win. But I like cheering for the underdog. So, Riston's Rogues going to win. I think it'll be, if the dice are happy, 4-2.
You hear that, Mr. A-Side Champion? You're the underdog.
I think this is going to be a neutral Reavers victory, and I think it's going to be... I think Laura's calling the score right, though, 4-2.
This could be like one of the top games of the year. The problem is JP's lance is so ridiculously strong. I can't get off the bandwagon. I just can't. This stuff's addicting. You know, actually being right at least once per week. Neutral Reaver's going to take it. I think Riston's Rogues are going to stand up strong, though. It's going to be 4-3. Game number 13, the Lucky 13, the Dead Man's Hand with 6 wins, 2 losses, 1 tie. They're up against the Red Suns Irregulars. 7 wins, 1 of which is a bye win, 1 loss, and 1 tie. Oh, it's me against Gary. It's B-Side Championship playoffs all over again. And I don't even know what to say. I'm looking at Gary's lance. It feeds into my game style for the way I want him to play. He's got to be within around 9 to be really effective. I want him at that 6 to 12 range. So it's going to be a bloody ugly game. He doesn't have a single mech I'm terrified of, which is great because last season he had that Daishi, the Widowmaker, I think it was, and it just terrified me. This one, I'm feeling much more confident going in. I'm going to say I beat him. I would have voted me to win anyway. But I'm going to say I'm going to beat him, and it's going to be a 3-1.
I think this could go either way. I think you actually have the skills and the tools to beat Gary in this matchup. But I think Gary's going to be a little bit luckier come the Sunday here. And it's going to be a Red Suns Irregulars rising to the occasion with a 4-3 victory. I think you guys are going to be sitting at the table and be like, is that mech dead? Did we just get the first 4-4 tie? No, it's still alive. 4-3 Red Suns.
Oh, and I owe him for how piss poor I played in the finals too, so I need to show him back up.
I want to say you're both right.
Hooray!
Take that. I think Lee's going to win, but I think it's going to be 4-3. I think Brett's right. They'll be sitting at the table going, isn't it dead?
Game number 14. The Ice Creamers with 4 wins, 3 losses, and 2 ties. Up against Paxton's Pathfinders with 3 wins, 6 losses, and 0 ties. Oh, this could be a game to just really enjoy. And I would like nothing more than seeing Paxton's Pathfinders pull out a win here against the Ice Creamers out of like left field somewhere. I want to see the Paxton's Pathfinders win. But I'm going to vote for the Ice Creamers in a 4-2 final score.
The Ice Creamers are a B-Side champion, and while Paxton's Pathfinders are having probably the best season they've ever had, both in skill spends and in play, and just overall luck. Good attitude brings good luck. And the Ice Creamers bring weird attitude and get weird luck. I like the Ice Creamers team. I do. I think they're strong. The Paxton's Pathfinders, once again, that Cyclops just isn't selling me. But I still got a Rack 5. It's not like it's a wimpy weapon. But
Yeah, but a Zeus isn't much better.
yeah, no. His Zeus is better. The Ice Creamers have experience in tense situations. B-side playoffs, A-side playoffs. He's done it all. Paxton's just kind of riding the victory wave. I think the Ice Creamers win, and it's going to be a 4-2, just like Brett said.
Copycat.
It's because he knows you want to vote for the underdog, so put in your Paxton's Pathfinders vote and we'll see how it goes.
No, unfortunately, in this case, I am going to cut my losses and not vote for the underdog.
Bandwagon.
Well, no, the Ice Creamers can win. I think it's going to actually be 4-3. Game number 15. Steel Shod Shambles with 3 wins, 1 of which is a bye win, 6 losses, and 0 ties. Going up against the House Psychotic Weasel. 2 wins, 4 losses, and 3 ties. Tough choices. Tough choices. I think this one's actually going to go to... I think Steel Shod Shamble is going to win. I think it's going to be a 3-2.
Host Psychotic Weasel has had probably the roughest 3-game series that he's ever had before. You know, Ristons, I think he played the Scions, and he played another one of the top players. Got stomped in each game.
JP.
Yeah. So he got stomped 3 games in a row pretty heavily. This is more on his level of comfort. Steel Shod Shamble's team, their biggest claim to fame so far is the fact that they're all zombies. I don't think Host Psychotic Weasel cares. It's not going to make any difference to them, and they're both pretty much straight up technology. It's not anything weird or odd that they have to try to counter. It'll just be a straight up game.
They are very much both just show up and brawl.
Yep. So I'm going to say the House Psychotic Weasel is going to get a win, right the ship, and get themselves comfortably in B. And maybe actually do well in the B-side playoffs. I'm going to say it's going to be a 3-2 as well, though.
I think this is going to be a Steel Shod Shamble 4-3 win.
Game number 16. We have the 1st Alliance Grenadiers. 6 wins, one of which is a bye win. 3 losses, 0 ties. Up against the Warthog's Revenge. 4 wins, 4 losses, and a tie. Brandon's got to be kicking himself in the pants. He was so close to A-side playoffs. He's going to make the B, I think. I think he's going to be in B. It wouldn't matter if he was in C. The C side is best side.
He is currently sitting C-side at slot 19.
Yeah, I think he'd be really comfortable with a good chance of winning it in that thing, but I think he wanted to do better this year than C-side. I am going to say that Brandon's going to win. It's going to be a 3-2. It's going to be close, but I think Brandon wants to finish the season strong and get into the playoffs as tuned up as possible.
I think, okay, so both of these teams are going to be super hungry for this, because if the stars align, depending on if Andre can pull a win, he could end up in A-side for playoffs. And Brandon, if Brandon wins, it's pretty likely that he could slip into B-side for playoffs. So this game is possibly going to be game of the week for how much it changes standings and where people finish going into playoffs. I'm kind of having a hard time calling this one, but I think Brandon's experience and that crazy little enforcer is going to pull out a 4-3 victory. Go Warthogs.
Don't think you guys are wrong. I think Warthog's Revenge is going to win this game. And I think Lee is just more right with his score. I don't think he's going to get all 4 kills. Yeah, Warthog's Revenge, 3-2.
Well, everybody, that is the end of our show tonight. One more show to be done for the end of regular season, and that will be January 10th, for our game day is on the 12th. That will give us a little bit of a break to be able to enjoy the Christmas season. Have a great night, everybody. Bye-bye.
I will say my goodnights. I hope everybody has had a good time. It's been a really good season. To all of our listeners and our viewers, we enjoy that you are here with us. Thank you so much for sticking with us and tuning in every 2 weeks when we drop these. We really appreciate you, and we really appreciate the league and everybody else that's a participating part of it. Leave your comments, your likes, and subscribe. Thank you.
And we'll see everybody on Sunday for the potluck and gift exchange.
Yay! Gifts!